I've always been curious as I frequent various automotive websites. I find there are comments about the cost of EV ownership, and I've even seen someone making comments such as, I can't afford to own an ICE vehicle anymore. Hi everyone, welcome to For Car's Sake, where I like to talk about the automotive industry, specifically in Australia. It's quite a controversial topic whenever we touch on anything EV related. And so today, I want to talk about EV versus ICE, where I'll share my 2 cents on how they compare financially in Australia, and specifically Melbourne. Remember, we're talking about financially, not CO2 emissions, convenience, range anxiety, etc. And the results might just surprise you. How does a BEV compare to an ICE vehicle? And if these are the type of videos you like, please make sure you like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So in case anyone calls me biased or whatnot, I'm trying to compare comparable vehicles and be as fair as possible. I'm going to focus on value for money. So representing BEV, this round of comparison is the BYD Atto3 long range. Representing ICE vehicle, I've picked the Toyota Corolla Cross Atmos 2-wheel drive 2-litre petrol. They are both in the same segment, both are new in 2022. Styling and spec are also pretty comparable, with the Toyota having a few additional spec, such as an extra speaker, heated steering wheel, leather seats rather than synthetic, and on the other hand, BYD has a built-in dashcam, better connectivity, and a funkier interior compared to the Toyota. So obviously, as we begin, we're going to start with drive-away prices. Looking at the Toyota first, at the moment, these prices are as at January 2023. If you are watching the video after this, the prices may have changed, but nonetheless, the result should be still pretty similar. So the Toyota is at 48,000 thereabouts, and the Atto3 is near enough to $54,000 drive away. That gives us a $5,650 difference. According to the ABS, an average Australian travels 12,400 kilometers every year. So we will be using that as our basis for my calculations. I'm going to focus on the first 5 years of ownership to do some calculation, starting off with servicing. As you can see, I've listed the first 5 years of cap price servicing between the Toyota and the BYD. The BYD actually costs more. An average Australian travels 12,400 kilometers a year, so all of them fall within the servicing interval as well. Next, we will look at registration and insurance. In Victoria, you get a registration discount. However, you then have to pay ZLEV, road user charge, which is at 26 cents per kilometer as a tax for road maintenance. So it's once again comparable with the BEV, and insurance, it's about the same as well. I've used the same address, same access, etc. to get a quote on this both, assuming the driver is a 30-year-old male living in South Bank area. I suspect the only reason the BYD is more is down to the higher drive-away price. Finally, the biggest cost variable, and probably what everyone wants to know, as most likely where everyone would challenge me, would be here, the cost of running the vehicle. The official fuel consumption for the Toyota is 6 litres per 100 k's. At the current average price in Melbourne of about $1.80 a litre, the yearly cost is approximately $1,300. And when we look at the Atto3, unfortunately I'm unable to find the official consumption on the Atto3. However, I have seen on some websites they average at approximately 14.3 kilowatt hour per 100 k's. The cost of electricity is also very tricky compared to the petrol. As there is on and off peak, there are also free chargers available and also fast chargers in public, where charges more than double compared to our on-peak rate at home. So for the sake of easy calculation, I think it's fair to assume majority of people can replenish their BEVs overnight pretty easily during off-peak hours. And you'll get an average for when you do go out to use the more expensive chargers, but at the same time, you can also average out with some of the free charging that you may come across in shopping centers, etc. So as we can see, this is where the BEV really excels at saving any potential owner about $1,000 per year on fuel consumption. So when we look at the accumulated yearly costs between the two cars, we can see the Toyota actually cost the owner $18,416 over the 5 years, whereas the BYD only cost the owner $15,195 over the 5 year of ownership. Now, if you're thinking, yep, I knew it, BEVs are going to save me money, I just want you to hold your horses for a little bit longer, because if you remember at the beginning, there's actually a $5,650 difference between the two cars. With the $3,000 saved, you haven't actually recouped the price difference between the two cars. So by the end of the 5 years, you're actually $1,800 better off financially buying the Corolla Cross. And it's not just the case of the Corolla Cross petrol. It is the same story when you compare it to the Kia Seltos, the CX-30, and also the Corolla Cross Hybrid, as I can show you here. The hybrid in particular really shines because of its low consumption, and I'm pretty confident there are some of you who think the 6-liter, 6.9, 6.5 are unrealistic for some of these vehicles. However, I can confirm that in real world, the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid definitely can achieve sub 5-liter per 100 kilometers consumption. Obviously, depending on your situation, where you're at, there are also exemptions. To begin with, as we probably know, there is a fringe benefit tax incentive on all electric vehicles. So for people who utilize novated lease, they actually have benefit on FBT. And on some cases, where perhaps you pay child support as an example, this would greatly impact you financially. On the other hand, there's also another subsidy that's available in Victoria and likely in other states in Australia. So there's the ZEV subsidy here. As you can see, when I looked at this, there's still 4,500 spaces available, and you are eligible for a $3,000 rebate because the Atto3 is below the purchase price of $68,000. And with this $3,000 subsidy, it is very quick that you can see how you can easily benefit buying the Atto3 versus these other vehicles, except for the case of CX-30. So what do you think? Did the results surprise you? It certainly did to me on how close they actually are comparing the ICE vehicle to the BEV. And while there are subsidy and other benefits from the government, it's really a no-brainer to try and take full advantage of these while they are available. And hopefully, as I've shown you, between 3 to 5 years, you are most very likely to start to break even and start making savings on your BEV. And if you want to argue about depreciation, that's also another video that I'm planning to do later on. But long story short, it's actually very comparable based on data that I've seen in US and the UK. So let me know, what's your choice? Do you want me to compare something else in the next video? Leave them all in the comment section, and I'd love to hear from you next time. For now, thank you and bye.